All right, thanks. Ooh, it was going to be call tech. But Sean, I still don't know if I should go see Godzilla or not. I had no plans to. Somebody said it was good, but they're not a good, that's the same person who liked The English Patient. So I just don't know. Don't know. Was it good? I'm sorry, what? No, I haven't. Oh, I saw the original.
Okay, well, I saw that.
And oh, yeah. Okay, I'm not going to do it. All right, everyone, I'm going to call the docket. When I call the docket, let me know if you are here. John Meyer. I think that may have been reset.
That's at 1:30, Judge.
1:30. David Vargas. Where are you? Thank you. Everyone, please stand when your name is called. Christopher Medina. In custody, we have Isaac Chavez. Kent Yates. Jose Villarreal. And when you get a chance, can you bring him out first? See, John Bear, that's what I thought. John Myers set for April 15th, right?
Yes, ma'am. For this afternoon for sentencing.
Yeah, today is April 15th. Why did people write that on an April 15th docket that is set for April 15th? It's a Monday. Sebastian Yanez, Hoffman, Sanchez, Guillaume, Martinez, Eds are in custody. Christopher Escobar. Thank you. Stevie Ray Stokes. Ernest Mora. Rodriguez Garcia, custody. Matthew Hughes. Thank you. Juan Garcia. All right, thank you. Jesse Arriaga. Thank you. Macedino Martinez. So yes, he's on Zoom now. Trisha Harrison. In custody, we have Flores Daniel Alexander Ramirez, Paulo Lara, Regina Weaver, Rogelio Valero. Thank you. Angel Bustos. Thank you. Chavez custody, Garcia custody. Matthew Hughes here. Aiden Taylor Martinez. Thomas, is that Uresti with an E? All right. Thomas Uresti Jr. In custody, we have Keller. Omar Flores. In custody, we have Miranda Claudia. Hancock. Sanchez Payne. Alex Miosic.
Please stand up.
In custody, we have Anzadua. Ashley Medina. All right, thank you. Matthew Montalvo. Thank you. Charles Garley. Patrick McGee, custody. Salinas, custody. Hawkins, Flores, custody. Troy Mishler. All right, is there anyone who came in late or your name was not called? All right, attorneys, I'm going to test you today. It's Monday. It's a pop quiz day, which I know we would all hate in school. I'm not going to give you any instructions because everybody should remember the instructions. If you don't remember the instructions and you do something improper, I will not yell at you. All right, but you will be admonished. Please confer. Campbell, Doug looks at me like, what? I'm not a yeller.
There are rules?
There were rules.
I'm afraid to say anything.
Oh, you're on it.
Good.
Oh, the name's on
that.
Martinez or Macedonia.
Angel Bustos. Can you read us the 1 second? This is Martinez. Regina Weaver, is everything correct?
Yes.
Do that. Yes. Sometimes.
No.
Yeah, I have been reaching out to. Been studying for a while. Like soon as I emailed her, probably 2 weeks ago.
He's gonna need her. He's in, therapy, probably, and he was on next day, or even that's even important, I don't know what the next.
Yeah, they went through that process. So that's one. First thing.
And so I know it's all children, I saw. I think we-
Double the fun.
No, wish for thinking there for a little bit. Thank you.
About that. Yes.
All right, and have you all brought out Villarreal? Deputy Mejia, can you bring up Jose Luis Villarreal? All right, Mr. Villarreal, if you can come down. Can I see the files on Jose Villarreal, please? Hello.
How you doing, man?
Hi, I'm doing just fine. How are you doing?
All right, man.
Thank you. All right, your attorney is currently in a jury trial, so your attorney won't be here.
Yes, ma'am.
Your plea deadline date, I'm going to set it for when your attorney is here, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So we're going to bring this back. Norma, I want this brought back on May 2nd.
May 2nd?
Yes. And after that, it will be your jury trial date if you wish to go to trial. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Do you have any questions about
No,
anything?
ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. State, I believe this is criminal trial division. On Jose Villarreal, that's going to come back on May 2nd.
Okay.
That will be his final plea deadline date. And after that, we'll do a jury trial.
Okay.
Make sure that the acknowledgements or discovery are available.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
I've got two cases, same defendant, one Garcia. Towards the end of the dock, let me know. This is federal custody. Came back to 4th of February, what's the same thing, in federal custody. One Garcia. So, he's already been sentenced. Well, I'm just seeing some resettlement, these two federal custody. And what I'm trying to do is see if maybe perhaps, it can be a, since you've already been sentenced in the federal side. See if maybe it could be brought over.
They have to share the rate.
Thank you. So in the meanwhile, I'm good. There's another
No,
20.
but the judge on Pete Garcia.
On Garcia.
Oops.
Yes, sir.
All right, Juan Garcia. Yes.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
So my client's in federal custody. This is the second time I've come to court.
Everyone, please whisper. Yes.
So I have conferred with the state and they're going to look into the possibility of issuing a writ because he has another 3 years to go in federal custody, more or less. And I provided proof of a sentencing judgment to the state.
Okay.
And so, Your Honor, I don't know the benefit of continuing to come to court on his behalf if he's in federal custody.
Well, I said it so that we don't lose track because you know what ends up happening? I was an attorney. We're known for our procrastination. That's what we do. That's what we were taught in law school. You know, that's why, you know, in law school, it's like, oh, the brief I have is not due till Friday. You know, I can start working it on Thursday night. It'll be all fine. So I'm going to recall it on May 20th and we'll see where we are with getting him back here.
I sent an email all off to our clerk to see what they need to do to get him back.
Okay. All right.
You want me to back in court May 20th?
Yeah, I'll set it for May 20th and we'll see if he's back here. And then if you come in and he's not back yet, then we'll reset it because otherwise it won't get set on the docket.
Understood.
All right.
Thank
Thank
Your
you.
Honor. May I have the excuse?
Yes, and you knew the rules without me telling. That is so awesome.
Omniscience. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Stevie Ray Stokes. Ernest Mora. Trisha Harrison. Daniel Ramirez. Paulo Lar. Regina Weaver.
She arrived, Judge.
All right, thank you. Aiden Martinez. You need to get on the front row. Thomas Uresti. Where's your client? All right, whenever you're ready to approach, let the court know. Omar Flores. Troy Mishler. You need to be on the front row. All right, when people are ready, let me know. Yes.
Just coming back from the restroom.
You're ready.
As soon as she comes out.
Yeah.
Let me know. when she-
Matt's here. I can push.
There you go.
She is. Yes.
But Sean, so I'm assuming everyone will love The Clippers fans will always love Houston because they were able to get their free chicken sandwich. It's like, I missed 2 free throws in a row in the fourth quarter for y'all. I think they were probably screaming. All right, who's here on Montalvo?
I am Judge.
All right,
Good morning.
good morning. Just 1 second, let me review something. Oh, have you conferred with the state?
I conferred the last time I was here.
Okay.
They,
Do you know if they've changed?
I want to say they were not in agreement.
Have you talked to them today?
Well, I haven't, but who knows? Okay,
All right, let me review the steps for 1 moment.
sure.
Oh,
All right, probation, are you ready on Matthew Montalvo? It's a request from defense for early termination. All right. All right, where's Matthew Montalvo? Good morning. I'm doing great. Court is calling 2021 CR 3955, State of Texas versus Matthew Ray Montalvo. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense,
Roberto Ambrosino?
and are you Mr. Montalvo?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, defense has filed a motion for early termination. State, have you had a chance to review the motion? All right. Defense, do you have any witnesses?
I don't judge this argument.
All right. All right, I'll hear your argument.
Judge, Mr. Montalvo has been, when I understand, a model probationer since he's been on. He's paid all his fines and supervisory fees, or I'm sorry, his fines and court costs, and he's current on supervisory fees. At this point, he's only, I think, reporting in person every 3 months. He's been extremely low risk. He's done everything that they've asked him to do. He's gainfully employed. He has his own business where he cleans pools. And to be honest, I've actually used him, and he's done a very good job and been very responsible and showed up on time. And I don't think that Mr. Montalvo is any type of threat to society. I handled the underlying case. It was basically marijuana-based offense, from what I recall. I believe that you would be a good candidate to be off probation this time.
All right. Probation.
Judge, Mr. Montalvo has completed everything that he needed to complete. Everything is seems fine on our behalf, and we have no opposition for early termination.
All right. Is there anything you would like to say?
Feel like I learned a lesson and,
All right, you want to raise your right hand?
yes, ma'am.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Matthew Montalvo.
All right, what lesson have you learned?
Not to do anything wrong, to be honest. Changed my life that day, and since then, never really looked back. And somebody blessed me and showed me the pool cleaning business, and it's much more lucrative and less of a headache, I guess you could say. And I've been doing that for 4 years now, so I'm just looking to continue and expand. Brought my brother in now; he's working with me. So this was an eye-opening experience, and it was changed me for the better, I believe.
All right, and was $100 worth it?
No.
Anybody else with any questions?
Mr. Montalvo, my name is Hank Wilkins, and I'm the prosecutor here.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever been in trouble before here in Bear County?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, so, in 2007, did you get an evading arrest with a vehicle?
Yes, sir. That was my first arrest.
And what did you get on that?
Probation.
Okay, and were you successful in that or were you unsuccessful?
I finished successfully, I believe.
Okay, so the records here, would you be surprised to learn that our records say that you were
Well, that-
supervision term was finished unsatisfactory? Would that be surprising to you?
No, because I had two running concurrent. I don't recall which one was the first one to finish. And one had like 2 more months, and that one was the one I signed unsuccessful.
Okay, and so did you have a forging commercial instrument or check in 2009?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
That was-
and were you successful on that one?
That was the one that was running concurrent. That one, I don't recall which one was successful, which one wasn't.
So I'm not trying to trick you or anything.
Yeah.
Our records say that they were both unsuccessful.
Okay.
Your understanding is that you were successful on one, not successful.
That's
on the
what
other.
I was under the influence, yes.
So if your motion is unsuccessful today, do you think you would be successful? Do you think you'd be able to finish this out?
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's. During those trials or cases, I was 18 years old, young, not mature. I obviously was a lot older when this happened and made a bad decision. And I decided to do this one the right way and not mess around, not fail my UAs and have to go to boot camp, ZT, everything else, but just get it done. So that's why I buckled down this time and use it as a real learning lesson. So I try to do it all properly.
So as part of the steps in your case, it looks like you had more than 10, but less than 12 vapes, right? Okay, so were you, this for personal use? You selling those? What are you doing with that?
Judge, I'll object at this point. I don't really see how that's relevant to the motion for early termination.
All right,
Sorry.
just so everyone knows, I've read the stipulations, so. Objection overruled, but everyone, I've read the stipulations, so I know what happened.
So you can answer, Judge.
What was the question?
Yes.
Sorry.
So were you selling the vapes?
How do I say this without, so that was just a bad mistake. I was helping a friend out, who needed basically help, and that's where I went wrong. It wasn't for me. And I don't know if that makes things worse, but yeah, so that was all discussed when I was arrested and stuff. That I was in a time of need. I was just lost my job, needed some extra funds, and a friend asked me to help him out, and I made a bad decision. And yeah, that should all be written down. I explained that to the arresting officer, so.
So you made a deal with the state when you agreed to this term, right?
Yes, sir.
And you're asking that you're trying to change it now, right? That's what you're trying to do.
Well, I just felt
Judge, I'll
like,
object. He's
I-
basically asking for a legal conclusion. I mean, I don't remember not asking for early termination probation. being
Object to
part of the
speaking.
conditions.
All right, so everyone. You understand that you entered into an agreement for deferred adjudication for 6 years.
Yes.
All right, so now you're asking the court that you be let off early and not complete the 6 years. Okay,
may I,
now, just 1 second.
That's
Yeah.
all, that's all.
All right, is there something else you wish to say?
well, what really brought me to this being here was my probation officers telling me repeatedly that I was gonna get an early termination. I just needed to do X, Y, Z, kept doing X, Y, Z, and it kept getting pushed next time we visit. So I just said, well, let me try to see what.
And I know you've been before the court before on an early termination. It has been denied. So let me,
With this.
yes. Yeah, no, previously, there was a motion sent to me for early termination. And it was denied, and that was back in October.
I was not aware.
Yes. Someone filed it and I denied it because that was, so. If you are tested today, what are the results going to be?
Should be clear and clear.
All right, let's do a UA and then I'll come back with my decision. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Hank. Sure.
Angel Busco?
Well, who's the defense attorney on this? I mean, is this case on our docket? All right, so they need to come back tomorrow. The 14th was Sunday or something. All right, so who's the defense attorney? So the defense attorney needs to be here. Yeah, this defense attorney needs to be here. I don't think that person is the defense attorney. I could be wrong. Okay, all right, let me see the file. All right, Deputy, when you get a chance, could you bring out Daryl Payne? Thank you. All right, who's here on Charles Garley? Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. So what are we here for?
It's a request for early termination.
Ah,
I
Have
have
you
the
had a
motion
chance?
if you don't.
yes, I don't have the motion. And have you had a chance to confer with the state?
I did, Your Honor, and as well as.
All right, if you. Thank you. All right, everyone, we're about to go on the record. Court is calling 2021 CR 7282, State of Texas versus Charles Garley. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Beer, Your Honor.
Defense?
Mario Morano.
All right, and are you Mr. Garley?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Defense has filed a motion for early termination. State, did you have a chance to review the motion?
I did review it briefly. Your Honor.
All right. Do you have any objections to the motion?
Yes, Your Honor, we're opposed to it.
All right. Defense, do you have any witnesses?
No witnesses, Your Honor, just argument.
All right, probation. Can you give the court probation's recommendation?
Ms. Garland has approved every confirmation. There is no opposition.
All right, defense, I'll hear your argument.
Thank you, Judge. So as far as I have been made aware from probation and from Mr. Garley, he has completed all terms of his probation with the exception of the completion of his term in limited, including but not limited to classes, community service. He's paid all of his fines, court costs, has checked in when requested or required. The only thing remaining at this point in time is for Mr. Garley to finish his remaining term. He was sentenced to a 2-year deferred term back in March of last year. So he's completed just a little over a year at this point in time. My understanding, he's been a model probationer. I worked with him in the underlying case as well. He's always been very prompt for court. Very respectful as well to me. I believe that at this point in time, Mr. Garley has proven himself to the court that he is ready, has taken responsibility for this cause, is ready to move past and move forward. And we're requesting that this time that the court grant his early termination.
All right, anything you wish to say?
No, ma'am, I'm just ready to put this behind me.
All right. I think you should probably say something because honestly, I'm leaning towards not early termination. I've read the facts of the case and I'm trying to figure out what was going through your thought process at that time. That's what I want to know.
Yes,
Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Charles Garley,
All right, what have you learned?
keep my hands to myself and just to be a model citizen.
All right, so why did this happen? What was going through your mind? Because it appears that the officer was there for a disturbance.
I was not aware of that. I opened the door and I know the police were there and they barged into my home and I was trying to defend myself.
Well, what I'm reading in the STIPs, and people correct me if I'm wrong, they come because there's a disturbance. There are 3 other people there, including you, civilians. You have a gun, according to the report, at your side.
Yes, ma'am.
One of the other civilians, because the officer asked you to put the gun down, you wouldn't. One of the other civilians there took the gun from you. So that diffused that situation. And then the officer was asking to talk to you and step outside. And then according to the STIPs, it says that you were swinging on the officer.
No, ma'am. I was not aware the officers were there. I was actually in shock because when I opened the door, guns were pointed at me. The reason my gun was out because somebody was in my home at the time that I did not want there. I asked them to leave. They did not leave. When, again, nobody in the house called the police. I think the disturbance was me trying to get that person to leave out of my home. When I opened the door, I didn't hear any knocking. I opened the door to let that person out of my home. And that's when the police were there. And I had my pistol pointed down. And that's when the officers pulled out their weapons on me. And I was in shock because I didn't know anybody was outside of my door. There was no knocking or anything. I had opened the door myself to let that person out.
Okay. So you open the door, you let the person out.
No, he did not leave. I opened the door to get him out. Like,
Okay.
like he needs to leave. And that's when officers were there. And I had no idea they were there. So I was in shock because guns were pointed at me. And that's the first time I've ever had guns pointed at me. So I was in shock.
But first time guns pointed at you by officers?
By anybody.
Okay. Any other questions?
I guess I would have a question, Your Honor, just to clarify, because you did say something and I just want to, I guess, clarify for the court about the facts of what had occurred, if that's okay.
I'm sorry?
I said, I do have a couple questions just to clarify about the facts of what
Sure.
occurred, if that's okay with the court.
Yes.
So the judge stated that the officers were asking you to come out, but is that correct?
No, sir.
When they had drawn their weapons on you, and then you were at some point you were disarmed, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And then did the officers ask you to step out or did they enter your home?
They entered my home.
Okay. And at that point in time, is that when they tried to detain you?
Yes, sir.
And then that's when the physical dispute happened between you and the officers?
Yes, sir.
But you have taken responsibility for those actions back in March of last year, right? So you do understand that the way that things occurred between you and the officers at that point in time was unlawful.
Yes, sir.
And you understand. Do you understand and can you explain to the court how that probably should have played out?
I should have just complied and put my hands on my back.
I no further questions.
Any questions? All right, let me just tell you what I have in the steps here. And if there are some corrections, let me know, but this is what you all stipulated to. P1 knocked on the door. His sister stepped out and explained there had been an argument between her and you. P2 stated she was getting her stuff with the help of her family and that she didn't require the police to calm you down. While speaking to P2, I could hear P1 and S1 exchanging words to each other. When myself and the officer looked through the open door into the apartment, I could clearly see a silver handgun in the right hand of you. Myself and the officer both drew our firearms from our holsters and commanded the arrested person, well, S1, to drop his firearm. You ignored our commands. After commanding you a few more times to drop the weapon, then P2 reached over and swatted it out of your hand. At this time, we entered the apartment and stated to you he was being detained due to the nature at which he was displaying the handgun and the disturbance that had been occurring. You physically tried to close the front door on us and then physically resisted arrest by pulling away and pushing against both officers. We ended up pushing you onto the sofa, at which time you began to strike out at the officers. It says you were punching wildly and punched me once on the upper left side of my cheek during the confrontation, causing pain and some redness. I used physical force in order to gain control from you, including multiple closed fist strikes to the right side of the face. After being struck by myself and tased, eventually you were placed in handcuffs. So is there something that is wrong about that?
The only thing wrong with that is I didn't throw the first punch. When I was thrown on the couch, the officer punched me in the face. And
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I said I did not throw the first punch. When I was thrown on the couch, the officer punched me in my face, and that's when I felt the need to defend myself.
Okay. All right, anything else?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Nothing further.
All right, if you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
So,
All right, give me a UA. All right, is Daryl Payne here? All right, Mr. Payne, if you'll come forward, please. Hello, Mr. Payne. Hello. Hi, I'm going to bring you back on May 2nd. Your attorney is actually in a jury trial. Do you have any questions? All right, so they're going to take you back and we'll bring you back on May 2nd. All right, and who is the person who filed this document on his behalf? Where's the document? All right, just a second. Where's the document?
She has.
Yes. All right, are you done, Albert?
Yes, ma'am.
If you'll come forward, please. Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi. So what's your relationship to him?
Daryl is my brother,
Okay.
my only brother. And as you see, I filed that petition because he's normally in mental health court throughout my whole life. And so these last 3 times I've sat back and watched him come through this here court. And to my surprise, Center for Healthcare Service normally acts on his behalf. He is level 4 schizophrenic with the Center for Healthcare Service, but they closed his case
Okay.
because I've been having a difficult time trying to keep him from out of town. So whenever he's released, I'm there to pick him up. However, with this schizophrenia, sometimes I can't manage, but I am here in full support of my brother as best I can.
Okay, just have a seat. His attorney is currently in jury trial, but we'll see if we can get someone here from mental health maybe to talk to you.
It's very kind of you.
Okay, all right, so just have a seat. We'll see what we can do, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Does anyone have Renee Munoz's number? All right, could you see if he's available to come back? See if you can have Renee Munoz come in. And Deputy Laura, if you can keep Mr. Payne here for a moment. Yes. Jacob Sanchez. All right, if you'll come forward. Deputy Laura, could you check to see if Jacob Sanchez is in? Oh, this is Jacob Sanchez. Okay, you said that he wasn't here.
I said he was incarcerated.
Okay. All right, so where are we on this case? I know there was a competency eval.
Spoke with my client. He's been found competent. I'm talking to the prosecutor right now to get a current offer for him.
All right, so did you obtain an offer?
Not yet, he's working on.
Oh, okay, just have a seat. When y'all are ready to approach, I'll take it up.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. All right, they're not ready on that case. And when y'all are ready on Matthew Montalvo, let me know. Christopher Medina.
Christopher, I spoke with Ray. I know he had to step out for the 2
Okay.
seconds, but
All right.
You have Ashley Medina up there?
No. Let me double check. No, I do not. All right, are the parties ready on Ashley Medina? Who's the prosecutor on Ashley Medina?
So we're here on the bond violation, Judge. You wanted to try to get someone on Zoom to help the ankle monitor being tampered with.
All right, who do you want on Zoom?
Well, I explained why my client said that she was having issues with her ankle monitor and you said that the court would reset to try to get somebody here. I don't know if like probation did that. In that time, I'd also filed an application for habeas corpus case hasn't been filed, hasn't been indicted. It's been almost a year.
All right. Well, it may be easy to start with the application.
True.
State, are you aware of his application?
I've spoken with the defense counsel that I haven't looked at it yet.
I had emailed it to him when I filed it about a week
Okay.
ago, and I just emailed it to him again.
All right, do you have a copy with you or no?
I don't have one.
All right. Excuse me, Adriana, can you hand that to them to review? All right, so if you'll step back in the box, they're gonna read that, and then when you're all ready, I'll take it up. Good morning.
How are you? It's Monday, it's a very Monday feeling Monday too. This weekend is too high. Worked all of it, so I'm trying to sign it.
Hello, how's it going? See, when you say so far, sometimes it ruins things. Yeah. All right, who's here on David Vargas? Who's the attorney for David Vargas?
Michael Goins, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, everyone, behind the court reporter, we're going to go on the record. Court is calling 2018 CR 5087, State of Texas versus David R. Vargas. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Goins for Mr. Vargas, Your Honor.
And are you Mr. David Vargas? Are you proceeding with this MTR or is it going to be contested?
Your Honor, we've already finished the MTR. He pled true, you found it true, and we're here today just for sentencing.
All right. That is true. So on March 21st, he pled true to a violation of condition number 1, which was the driving while licensed and invalid, and violation of condition number 2, consuming of alcohol.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. All right. Is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is currently in college. He's pursuing his degree. He's trying to get it done in psychology. He's had an initiative.
Just one moment. Everyone, we're on the record. No talking behind the court reporter. If you would like, the deputies can move your person to the end. All right, you can continue.
It's part of his pretrial in courtroom 6, in county court law number 6, excuse me. He has an ignition interlock on his vehicle. There's been no violations of the ignition interlock as of this time. And Mr. Vargas would understand, he would like, if you would continue on probation, he'd fully understand if you'd like to make the ignition interlock part of that probation in the future, Your Honor. And that's all we have now.
All right, anything from the state?
Your Honor, we're asking for revocation. I know you've read the steps on the underlying offense, Judge, but in the steps for the underlying offense, the victim told police that she could hear gurgling when the defendant choked her. And so
Your Honor, I don't believe that's relevant because we're here for the MTR, nothing for the
Well,
underlying.
I think it's relevant to the defendant's state of mind, Judge, so he knows he's on deferred adjudication for this crime. Where the defendant heard gurgling when he choked her. And instead of complying with the terms of his probation, he went out to the comedy show, drank alcohol, which is one of the things he pled true to. And he's now pending a DWI. He pled not true to that, but that charge is still pending. We didn't waive that or TIC that as part of the NTR, Judge. So we are asking for revocation, and that you sentence the defendant to prison, Your Honor.
All right. And probation on this case, it is David R. Vargas. What is probation's?
System is down at this moment and I cannot pull any information. If you would, there is just a second to look over the
Okay,
court summary.
yes. All right, I tell you what, if you all will have a seat for a moment and let's see.
Yes, sure. If
Yeah.
you could just give me
Yeah.
like 5 minutes. to
Okay.
take our
Oh, no,
system.
no, just how long the system takes. So just have a seat. We'll see if we can get the system back up, okay?
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Hi.
How you doing?
All right, could I speak with you for a moment? If you'll come around?
Of course, Your Honor. Yes.
things are moving forward.
We're ready on vote.
All right, just give me one moment.
Sure.
And Norma, make sure that I have a copy of that motion in the file. That's done. Yes, on,
Montalvo,
yes.
positive for THC.
All right, could I see Montalvo, please?
Your Honor.
Afternoon.
I apologize.
No. Here's the thing. We're back on the record in 2021 CR 3955, State of Texas versus Matthew Montalvo. No, I appreciate your apology, but here's the thing. You're on probation. You've got to start making choices that are better choices. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself in, doing time potentially. You had your attorney up here arguing for you and he was giving a good argument. And I will tell you, if you would have been negative, I would have terminated your probation.
Made fool of everybody today and I
Mhm.
apologize.
So was marijuana worth it?
No, ma'am, no. It wasn't at all.
All right. You can't be doing a fast time at Richmond High in here. You understand?
100%.
All right, Ms. Abrams. So the motion for early term is going to be denied. And instead of following the motion to revoke, just do an alter and amend to include 60 sober meetings in 60 days. And let's have him tested once every 2 weeks for levels until the levels are negative. And then regular random UAs thereafter. Is there anything else? All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. You're on probation. I tell people this all the time. People are like, oh, why would somebody be going to prison for marijuana? Those are the rules. You're on probation. You're not allowed to do marijuana. You're not allowed to drink alcohol. Sometimes people think probation is easy. They're like, oh, he just got probation. I would like to think I could do probation. What would probably end up getting me is if I'm trying to have employment and I'm working 40 hours a week, because sometimes you have to sit there a long time to get your UA when they send you off to get UAs. That would probably be one of my sticking points. But I pick up the phone and call somebody and said, hey, I'm gonna lose my job if I do A, B, and C. Can you work with me a little bit? So you're gonna have to get your life together. Your life is still a little bit out of control. You understand? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. There's never an order attached. Oh, no, I just wrote it on here. Yes. All right, who is your next client, Mr. Ambrosino?
Ashley Medina, Judge.
All right, Ashley Medina. And if I could have that motion back, that's okay. Thank you. All right, we're on the record in NIMAG number 711895, State of Texas versus Ashley Medina. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Hank Wilkins for the state.
for the defense?
Roberto Ambrosino for the defense.
And are you Miss Medina?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so the first thing we need to address is this issue of bond. Defense, have you had a chance to review the defendant's request?
Yes, Your Honor, I have.
And
Well, Judge, we're opposed. I don't have a good reason. I've been talking to the intake attorney. We are still waiting drug labs on the felon blood. So
and how long have we been waiting for labs?
for a while, Judge.
How long is a while?
11 months.
All right, do you want to, have you conferred with the first chair?
I'm not, Judge.
All right, if you want to confer with the first chair on this, because it's been 11 months. All right. All right, so just give us a moment and we'll take it up. All right, so who's the gate? Con?
Yes.
All right, if you'll pass me the paperwork. No. Okay. All right, Sebastian Yanes, come forward. Okay, we'll take care of it. Yeah, we'll take care of it. This is a test. All right, so it's the court's understanding that you all had entered a plea agreement. However, my understanding also is that you've hired an attorney. Is that correct? All right, who's your attorney? Neil Kaffis.
Sorry.
All right, no problem.
Your
All right,
Honor, he thought
so-
I was with their firm when I approached you this morning.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do. Oh, that's, hey, there's no problem. We are here to solve problems. So this is what will end up happening. You need to, do you have your attorney's phone number?
He was here.
He was outside, but he went to go call on the phone to see.
All right, so you're gonna remain in court. We'll wait for your attorney to show up and you're excused.
So he goes the whole way to call him, let him know that they still expect him to show up.
Yes.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so they're not rating on that one. If you'll hold off on that one.
Yes,
Yolanda Kaufman.
We're ready, Your Honor.
How you doing, Judge?
I'm doing okay. It's a beautiful day.
On Monday?
Oh, Monday is always beautiful. You know why? We're currently alive. Yes.
So let me get all this in this one.
Computer systems are down. And because people are so dependent upon technology, we forget what to do. It's sort of like when we were growing up and you first got the microwave, and of course, we were like, this is the most expensive popcorn maker we've ever seen. But once you got used to it, when the microwave went down, I'll never forget telling my brother, oh my gosh, how are we going to heat up the food? We don't have a microwave. Then my mom's like, Stephanie, we have an oven, we have a stovetop. I'm like, yeah.
There you go.
So even, oh yes. So even though the computer system is down, we will figure it out. All right, court is going to call 2023 CR 10497, State of Texas versus Yolanda Kaufman. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense.
I'm El Dapo for Yolanda Kaufman.
And are you Ms. Kaufman?
Sí. Yes.
All right, we have an interpreter here today. If you could raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm you will faithfully translate from English into Spanish and Spanish into English, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Cesar Chavez, license number 2203.
All right. Ms. Kaufman, all of the documents I'm going to review with you are in English. Were those explained to you in Spanish?
Sí. Yes.
And defense, are you fluent in Spanish?
Yes, Your Honor.
And were you able to explain the documents to your client in Spanish?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you believe she understands the documents?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
We have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Are there no applications?
No applications.
All right. Ms. Kaufman, did you review what's entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Sí. Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We're waiving the habitual enhancement, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection.
All right, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants of Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Sí. Yes.
It's better. it's
Did
better
you
to-
sign it?
I was just telling her, make sure you let her finish the question.
Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Sí. Yes.
Did you understand you're charged with driving while intoxicated, third or more? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 years in prison up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Sí, señoría. Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial? A right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Sí. Yes, Your Honor.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Sí. Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Kaufman, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No. No.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, señoría. No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Sí, señoría. Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
No, señoría. No, Your Honor.
Counsel, did you advise your client of the consequences of pleading no contest or guilty in the application of federal immigration law?
We did, Your Honor. If I could add, just for the record, we had the court appoint an immigration attorney. She was contacted by the immigration attorney. She was advised two major things. Number one, that even though she's a permanent legal resident, she could get deported. And number two, after she is possibly deported, she could be denied reentry. Knowing both of those possibilities, she wants to go forward. And
Is that-
a Padilla letter as well that we've gone over.
All right, is that correct, Ms. Kaufman?
Sí, señoría. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so you've been advised of the consequences of entering a plea in this case and as it relates to the application of the federal immigration law?
Sí, señor. Yes, Your Honor.
And did that advice include possible consequences such as deportation, the denial of naturalization and exclusion from the United States?
Sí. Yes.
And do you understand the immigration consequences of entering a plea in this case?
Yes.
All right, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain agreement with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 8 years in the prison. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the office as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
Your Honor, I offer State's Exhibit 1 and the attachments.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, state, you may continue to confer. Ms. Kaufman, did you review the waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments. The court has reviewed State's Exhibits 1 and attachments. The court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
One thing we would ask, Your Honor, is that she does accept responsibility. She is an alcoholic, and she actually has her daughter in the back, as well as her grandson. And they just want the court to know that they're here to support her in any way. There's a high possibility that she's going to be deported to Nuevo Laredo after she does her criminal time. And she's just trying to accept responsibility and be a success in the future.
All right, so with regards to, they're saying that she crashed into a building. Was there any restitution for that?
I know of no restitution, but there may have been some through insurance or something.
State, do you know if there's any restitution for the building? All right, thank you. It doesn't mention it in the steps. It just says she crashed in a building. It was a crash into a Goodwill.
We do restitutions if needed.
No objection to that, Your Honor. Let me just explain to her in Spanish briefly what
Sure.
we're gonna ask.
Están poniendo en condición que va a ser la restitución.
She's in agreement, Your Honor.
All right. So the court will sentence you to 8 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's to be a 2-year driver's license suspension. I'll request the therapeutic community, but you'll have to request it as well. There's to be restitution, if any, to the Goodwill located at 3400 Fredericksburg Road. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, You do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. Ms. Kaufman, if you are allowed back in the United States, you had better take care of this issue you have with alcohol. Otherwise, other things can happen. Usually people who are driving intoxicated, they don't hit buildings, they hit people, and the people they hit end up dying. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you. Thank you.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
Thank you, Judge. Excuse your honor.
Yes. Who's here on Omar Flores? All right, if you'll come forward. Good morning. Where is Mr. Flores?
He is not here, Judge.
All right.
I do not know his whereabouts.
All right, so I just want to tell everybody, here's the thing. Excuse me, people, you're Omar Flores? Are you Omar Flores? All right. So everyone, guess what? If y'all can see, if you turn around and you can see the deputy directly, then you know what that means? You're blocking her line of sight. And whatever happens, if you all end up getting ran over, I've already told everybody, I will do an affidavit saying the officer behaved appropriately. So you need to be aware of the view because they have to keep an eye on the inmates. And on me. That's what my mom says. All right, so can I have a prosecutor? Court is calling 2024 CR 2669, State of Texas versus Omar Flores. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
for the defense?
Robert Gear for defendant Omar Flores, judge, and we are not ready as my client is not present.
All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 10:30 a.m. There has not been an Omar Flores in the courtroom. State,
State's requesting a bond forfeiture.
all right, that'll be granted. Your client will be remanded without bond. If your client makes an appearance, the court will reconsider.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you.
We reached an agreement on the bond.
Adriana? Yes. Yes, just give us a moment. Munoz is going to speak to him briefly. Okay. All right, we'll make it happen. Who's here on David Michael Hancock? Mr. Hancock. Yeah, you can send it to Judge Nahara. All right, so where are we on this case?
Judge, we've conferred with the state and we've requested a trial setting.
Okay, do you have all of the discovery?
Yes.
State, did you tender an offer?
We did. Then, Your Honor, there was mentioned the report of 2 potential eyewitnesses. So I checked on our notes. I don't think we've had the opportunity to reach out to those 2 yet. So state's more than happy with a trial setting. We've talked with counsel to let them know that that's kind of next on our agenda. But again, 2 eyewitnesses that I've already reached out to our advocate in terms of getting a hold of.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a jury trial date on Hancock. And I'm assuming, what is this, 2 days?
At most.
Right.
With me, Judge, it could be a week.
It's gonna be 2 days. I know you, Mr. Maurer. June 4th?
That should work.
All right, so your jury trial date will be June 4th. And if y'all will put an acknowledgement of discovery in the file, please. All right, is there anything else?
No, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Hancock, you'll be brought over dressed for trial in whatever civilian clothing you have at the jail. If you wish to be attired in something else, you need to speak to your attorney. Do you understand? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. These are done. Norma, can you check with Renee Munoz and see if he's finished speaking with Mr. Payne? Thank you. Are we ready on Christopher Medina? All right, who's the attorney for Christopher Medina? Who's the attorney?
It's Ray Martinez, Judge. He was.
They're not ready. Oops, sorry.
Judge, this is on that one motion for writs.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you.
Thanks.
All right, Daniel Ramirez. Come forward, please. Hello, how are you doing this morning?
Good, thanks for asking. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing okay. It's Monday.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so why were you late?
I was in 8. I was told to report to 8 first. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
And
yeah.
then they reset it because Joe has multiple trials, so
All right, when did they reset it to?
May 1st, ma'am.
May 1st? All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a May 1st date here. Let's see. And
Bunch of resets.
all right, so I'm going to give you a May 1st date here. And once that, well, so there won't be any confusion. I'll put you on May 2nd. Of course, if everything is taken care of on May 1st, then your attorney will come here and you won't have to show up. All right, so we're going to give you a reset for May 2nd, okay?
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Norma, he needs a reset. It's Daniel Ramirez for May 2nd. State Daniel Ramirez is being reset for May 2nd. He's on page 10. Yes, sir.
Anything else, Judge?
No, just have a seat. She'll give you a reset form. She'll call you up.
Back there, Claudio.
Yes,
On Ashley Medina, I understand that. I get
Yes.
this.
yes, it's already been signed. If you want a copy of it, they'll give it to you. We're finished with Ashley Medina. Are you all ready on Charles Garley? Or no? All right. All right. They're not ready on that yet. Are y'all ready on David Vargas? If you can check in with probation and see what the update is. All right. Well. What was in there is probably what's previously been submitted.
Judge, that's the issue. The documentation that was previously submitted, that was submitted in January.
Okay.
So I wanted to look up his new reports, his ignition interlock reports, his UAs and everything.
All
I
right.
just can't do that.
Oh, just one second. Are you able to come back either tomorrow or this afternoon?
I will be back this afternoon and 13, Judge, if we can go.
All right, let's see where we are and we'll recall it for 1:30
Yes,
and we'll see if the systems are back up.
I'm gonna tell 6 what's going on, Judge.
Yes.
On the DWI.
Okay, so we'll see you back at 1:30. All right, thank you. Okay, thank you. All right, thanks.
President.
State David Vargas on page 24 is gonna come back at 1:30. That's 1:30. All right, who's here on Isaac Chavez? All right. Okay. All right, court is calling 2024 CR 1943, State of Texas versus Isaac Chavez. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense?
Doug Campbell for Mr. Chavez.
All right, are you Mr. Chavez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, sir.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Chavez, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Chavez, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney?
Yes,
Did
ma'am.
you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 2, 4 grams to 400 grams? That's a second-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses? Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense? Mr. Chavez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, there's a $500 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication in the DOEP course. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes.
State?
Yes, good.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions? I look towards you. Showing you outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 3 years. There be a TAP evaluation and 120 hours community service restitution. Did you understand that was a recommendation from the state and the court does not have to follow that recommendation?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence.
State offers states exhibit when all happens.
No objection.
Showing you the waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
Yeah, my client's in the back, so I told them to bring it out, but you're fine, don't worry about it.
It's possible that's all.
All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Judge. Isaac was 18 years old when this incident occurred. He's now 20 years old. I think he's wiser for the events that happened. As the court probably saw, he was shot twice because of this. He was almost at the end of his deferred, or is at the end of his deferred. We're gonna hear in just a moment. And he would like to do the TAP evaluation out in the world. He almost, but for this incident, was successful in completing that deferred adjudication.
All right, who is Dynasty Chavez
That's my cousin.
and how old is she?
Now she's 18, I believe.
And who is Roxanne Chavez
That's Dynasty's mother, Matia.
and how old is she?
Can't tell you for sure. Maybe early 30s.
Do you have any children?
No, ma'am.
Okay, that's a good thing. How far did you go in school?
I graduated high school.
So what are you doing with your life other than picking up felonies?
As of right now, I was just working at Willie's, a restaurant. I was a server. I was
Okay,
just working where I can. With the felony, it doesn't really allow me to do much.
I'm sorry?
With the felony, it doesn't really allow me to do much. So I just work where I can.
Well, it sounds like you need to try to go to a trade school and do something else. I've had clients before who have been welders and they've had felonies. You just have to let them know up front what your charges are and how you've changed, if you have changed. If you haven't changed, of course, nobody's going to take a chance on you. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. This is what the court will do. There's a $500 fine. That would be probated. There's to be no contact with Dynasty. And that's spelled like the television show, Chavez, or Roxanne Chavez. Who do you live with?
My grandfather,
What's his name?
Alfred Chavez.
I'm sorry?
Alfred Chavez.
All right, and where are your parents?
My mom, she's in the courtroom with me right now, but I don't know who my dad is.
Okay. Where's your mom? All right. All right, thank you. There's the regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's to be regular random UAs. 4 years deferred adjudication. 120 hours of community service restitution. That will be deemed completed if you obtain a certificate, get in someone's trade school. It's okay to work at Wendy's. We need people to work at Wendy's, but if that's what you want to do with the Willie's, all right.
Not fast food, regular restaurant.
All right, thank you. If that's what you want to do, working at Willie's, that's fine. We need people to work at restaurants. But if you want to do something other than your life than work there, or you have dreams about doing other things, you probably need to go to a trade school or either you can go to college. Once you complete that, your community service hours will be deemed satisfied, or you can do community service hours. It's completely up to you. I would recommend, though, that you go to a trade school, become a plumber. Even though that requires a license, you'll just need to tell them about your history and tell them how you improved, and maybe they'll give you your license. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
There's to be field visits 1 time per month for 4 months. How long will a tap in custody take? How long out of custody? All right. What drugs have you been using in the past?
In the past, I was using marijuana and Xanax.
All right. So we'll do a referral to felony drug court. That'll happen while he's in custody. Since today is Monday, they'll get to you before the week is out. If he's not accepted into felony drug court, then we can do the TAP evaluation out of custody. And what I'll do then is 60 sober meetings in 60 days. And probation, if you could keep track and make sure that if he's not accepted in felony drug court, they take care of the TAP evaluation. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. With regards to your grandfather, who all lives with him?
Oh, it's just me, him, and my brother.
All right. And how old is your brother?
He's 18 now.
All right. He is to reside with his grandfather, Alfred Chavez. You're not allowed to leave that residence and reside somewhere else without the court's permission. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you leave that residence and reside somewhere else without the court's permission, a motion to revoke is going to be filed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Probation, they want the DOEP course. That course is don't use drugs. It fries your brain. but I'm still gonna give it to you because obviously you need it, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Probation, is there anything else he needs? All right, is there anything else you need from the court to be successful on this probation? All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. In order to be successful on this probation, you know, because you're on probation here. You got to communicate and stay in contact with people. So if there's an issue, let probation know. If you feel as though probation is not addressing it, you can always come back to the court, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and I'm sorry, back on the record in that cause number, this is run concurrent with 2022 CR 1798. All right, court is calling 2022 CR 1798. Are you proceeding with the motion to revoke?
Yes, Your Honor, he was in be turned on Saturday.
All right. Probation, is that your recommendation to terminate him unsatisfactorily? All right, on that probation, then you will be terminated unsatisfactorily. All right,
Yes, ma'am.
all right, thank you. All right, where's Munoz? Oh, Mr. Munoz, I'm sorry, come forward.
Right here, Judge.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hi, so did you get a chance to meet with his brother?
Yes, I did.
All right, and so he's coming back. I recalled him for the second.
Okay, Judge.
Is that a good time for you?
Yes, Judge, it is. I'll make
All
note of
right. So, Mr. Payne, we're going to bring you back on the second. All right, and can you make sure a copy of that is placed in the court's file?
that. A copy of the document?
Yes.
Yes, Judge, I gave it back to the original.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, all right, thank you. Rogelio Valaro. Mr. Valaro?
He's coming up.
Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
All right, so your unicorn ate your homework?
Oh,
I like that. All right, so what's happening with this case?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Robert Here for defendant Rogelio Valero. This is our first setting. We have confirmed with the state on an initial plea bargain offer.
Mhm.
So we'd ask for a second pretrial date to review that.
All right, so do you have all the discovery?
I do, Your Honor. Is there something out there that I don't know about? But to my knowledge, we have received all the discovery.
All right, how old are you?
I just turned 51.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on this case, recall this for May 6th for a plea deadline date. All right, that will be your plea deadline date. On that date, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, thank you so much for dressing appropriately for court.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you, Judge.
you're welcome. Who's here on Alex Miosek?
Here, our judge.
I know.
Let me just find you on the document.
You should be toward the end. It's our first time to appear before the court.
Ah, there we are. All right. Do you have all the discovery?
No, I've been told there's some sealed matters that I was not aware of, so we do not have all the discovery.
State on Alex
Yes.
Miosek,
Yes, Judge.
there's some sealed matters.
Yes, Judge, there's 2 misdemeanor sealed and then 1 felony sealed. I think the felony is less than a month old. If I'm not mistaken, I'm like at a 75% confidence interval. It's from March 19th, the most recent sealed felony case, aside from the 2 sealed misdemeanors.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, are you able to put this towards the end of May? What date?
Judge, I leave town the 27th for until the first week in June. So if we do it the second week in June, perhaps.
We could do that, or we could do May 20th.
I'd prefer the second week in June if we could.
Are y'all gonna have all your discovery?
I don't know, I can reach out to Victoria, but that case, like I said, is about 75% sure it's less than a month old. So I told council everything I know and I can follow up with Victoria.
All right, we'll do June 11th.
Okay. Thanks, Judge.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Sure. Aiden Martinez.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning.
You want Mr. Martinez up here?
Yes. Why were you late for court?
I had a shattered window when I came out from my truck.
All right, you can't be late for court, you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, where are we on discovery?
Your Honor, that's the reason I'm asking for some more time. There's some discovery that I'm requesting from the DPS laboratory.
All right, what are you requesting?
I'm requesting a more specific lab result than what's in the file right now. And they're gonna make an attempt to get that.
All right, state, how long is it going to take you on the laboratory report on Aiden Martinez?
We do have a lot.
He says he wants something more detailed. I don't know what that's about.
Did mention that to Mr. Alcevedo, that lab report is the lab report that we be proceeding the trial with.
All right, so were you able to make tender an offer?
He didn't ask for an offer. I believe that the discussion is about the percentage of Benavie, and I explained it. How we're proceeding on the case, and it might be a trial issue or motion to suppress.
Well, then there's gonna be some other discovery issues that we need to request if they plan on proceeding with testimony as opposed to the result itself.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you recall this for May 28th? And that will be your discovery date.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. Once you sign the reset form, you excuse. Okay. Who's here on Miranda Claudio? It's been a while since I've seen you. How you doing? All right, I'm still doing my oatmeal. All right, court is calling 2024 CR 2683, State of Texas versus Miranda Claudio. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state.
Defense?
Alma Benavides from Miss Claudia.
And are you Miss Claudia?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Are there any applications in this case?
No, Your Honor.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. Ms. Claudio, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishments. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with burglary of a building? That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Hank. Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent? Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
I believe she does, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Claudio, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea? Anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page, did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 10 months in the state jail facility, and there are no applications. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea? State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places? Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence.
Your Honor, I offer State's Exhibit 1 in the attachments.
No objection.
All right, you may continue to confirm. Showing you what's entitled wavering consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We're just asking the court to follow the plea bargain.
All right, what are your plans after you are released from custody?
To do the right thing. To do the right thing.
All right, so why are you homeless?
My mom passed away and my sister, my family didn't care. They didn't care. So the guy that I'm with now, he does work.
Didn't care as to what?
They tell me all about my family.
Oh, I'm sorry, just 1 second. Is that a teenager outside the door? Or is he on the docket? All right, I'm sorry. What were you saying?
13-year-old judge.
Oh,
When my mom passed away, Your Honor, my mom left us a will, and
everyone, please whisper. Yes.
my family, my sisters, they didn't care. So I was sexually abused by my stepdad. So I went to go out there and live on my own because I wasn't happy the way she was treating me.
Okay, how old were you when your mom passed?
It's been like almost 10 years, Your Honor. That she passed away. She died of an aneurysm.
No, I mean, how old were you at that time? How old are you now?
I'll be 45, May 27.
Okay, so 10 years ago, you were in your 30s. All right, so I'm trying to figure out what brought you to the point of homelessness, because people assume you should have a job, have a place to stay. So did you not have employment? Was there something else going on?
I have epilepsy, Your Honor. I had really bad seizures. When I was in county, I really can't work now because I fractured my bone when I fell in the county. So I'm still working with, I have a bandage on my leg. I have really bad anxiety and also with a bracelet on, so I can't stand that long. So I have seizures for the rest of my life.
Okay, see, and the reason why I'm asking you these questions is because when people go to prison, I'm hoping that we won't see them back here again. And if you don't have a plan, you're gonna be back here again. You understand? Okay. All right, there are plenty of places that can help you with homelessness. There are plenty of places that can help you if there are mental health issues going on. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court will find you guilty, sentence you to 10 months in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served. There's going to be restitution, if any, to alibis, ALIBI', sports and spirits. All right, is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it? All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, good luck to you, okay?
Thank you, Judge.
welcome.
Maybe the excuse.
Yes.
Good to see you.
And if there's an issue with you finding housing, you can always come to the court and there are resources for you, okay? All right, thank you.
Judge.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.
Joshua Anzaldua.
Here, Judge. He's actually in the back, but I talked to them. They were just running low on room. But we were ready for a status update for the court.
Okay. Are they bringing him out?
He's in the back. I've talked to him.
Okay,
I don't need him out here. I can give the court an update though.
okay.
So we're here on an indicted evading arrest case. He
Yes.
has 4 new cases, which are more serious offense than this one that are unindicted. I
Mhm.
think it just happened within the last 30 days, maybe 45 days.
Okay.
So we're asking for a reset. I think they're gonna have him indicted by then, and then we should have a global offer and a feeling of which way we're gonna go with this whole thing.
All right. So what date are you all requesting? Sometime in May?
At least a month,
Yeah.
Judge, because the cases happened in March. And so I think that they should be indicted within the next.
All right. Is June 3rd enough time?
That should be fine.
That should be fine with me, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you call Anzaldua back on June 3rd?
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. And Deputy Laura, you can take him back. What, Macedonia?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm calling in order of appearance.
Oh, no, I know. I just wanted
Okay.
to make sure I see it.
All right, no problem. Charles Garley. All right, we're back on the record in 2021 CR 7282, State of Texas versus Charles Garley. If I'd have the parties re-announce, please.
Mario Moreno for the defendant.
Sorry, I didn't know.
No.
Jason Garrett for the state, Your Honor.
All right, the court heard previous arguments from, I believe, Mr. Wilkins. And they've informed me that your UA was negative. All right, so here's the thing. Sometimes on probation, people need to do the full term of their probation because it's the nature of the offense and that's what it is. And then other times you have people who've completed everything and probation is telling me they completed everything and they come to court, they UA, they test negative. It appears that they've got their life in order. Probation is overworked and underpaid. And they have a lot of people on their list of people to see and what to do with them. Your counsel informed me that now you're only reporting, I think, once every 3 months. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So that tells me that probation feels that you've successfully completed everything. You've internalized what you did and we won't see you here anymore. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So the court will grant your application for early termination. Is there anything else from either side?
Nothing to say.
Not from the defense, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we can go off the record. Hey, don't come back here for nonsense. When people knock at your door, whether you think they should be there or not, that's stuff that you handle in the court system. You understand?
Yes.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, who's here on Macedonio Martinez?
He's on Zoom, by the way.
All righty. Let me zoom him in. All right. Okay, where are we on this case?
We've conferred, I've conferred with on both cases,
Mhm.
actually. I'd like maybe you give it May 28th or something, but if you can give me maybe like 30 days to complete reviewing discovery, and also we've already started conferring about resolution.
Okay, so you have all the discovery?
I believe I have it all. I just need to review it with my client.
All right, in state, were you able to tender an offer?
We were, so Your Honor, just like counsel stated, there's one CTD case, one family case. We both, CTD and I kind of have a combined sphere of resolution we're
Okay.
operating within, Judge, but I know counsel would like some time just to make sure they batten down the hatches.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, are you able to recall this back on June sixth?
Yes.
I'm sorry, wait a minute, I'm just throwing out a date. That's not the proper date. June 3rd. It'll be June 3rd.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, and Mr. Martinez, is he in Bear County?
No, he's in Laredo,
All
Bueno
right.
County.
All right, so we'll bring you back on June 3rd. If there's a plea, we can do it by Zoom.
Great.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, Martinez, June 3rd.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. You're excused. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court. And I did notice that you actually zoomed in at 9 a.m., so I appreciate that.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Sorry, I just, freaking messenger.
Who's here on Ernest Mora? Hello. Hi, where's your client?
Not here.
Okay, is he in custody?
No,
All right.
there's a couple of warrants out there on bonding.
All right, is there a warrant on this case?
There's two cases that were pending, and then there's a case that was filed against him in the last 2 weeks, and that's why those two cases, the bonds were up to remand without bond.
All right, Adriana,
Yes.
could you look up 2023 CR 9524 and see if there is a warrant in this case? It is 2023 CR 9524.
There is a warrant. Judge's warrant.
All right.
On 4/8/2024.
All right. All right, once your client is arrested, we'll take this up. All right, thank you. Always good seeing you. Yes. Yes. Sure. All right, who's here on Jesse Arriaga? All right, so today an offer was supposed to be tendered. Has an offer been tendered?
So no, Your Honor, and the reason for that, or may I continue on that?
Yes.
So defense filed a motion which basically outlined some additional elements of discovery. It's essentially 3 sections, if you will.
Mhm.
The third and final section, we have those records on. The first 2.
All right, what?
This
this-
is medical records is the third part.
All right, so what is missing?
What is missing is information with regards to counseling records of the complainant and other allegations with regards to the complainant. So I've already reached out to the victim advocate to kind of tackle both of those additional elements, Your Honor.
All right, so those are the 2 only outstanding?
Yes, Your Honor. The motion, as counsel put it, was part 1 and 2. 2 is kind of split into subsection A and B. The latter subsection, Your Honor, which is with respect to medical records, and they're here in the file as we speak. So it just is related to one and then part A of section 2.
All right, are there any CPS records in this?
Not to our knowledge, in terms of missing, Ray, I think that's correct.
It's kind of complicated, Judge. The complainant lost her mother, so she was living with my client's wife, and she's her aunt. So the state, somebody had to step in and take custody of her when she was removed.
So nothing, yes, nothing missing. So we have the CPS record, so it's not as if that's an additional element of discovery we don't have.
All right, so has a protective order already been signed with regards to CPS records so he can have those?
That I don't know, and I can check the filing on that.
All right, if y'all will do that, and I'm
We can
putting
do that,
down, that needs to be done today, so you'll have it.
Easy, yes, Judge. But otherwise, I think, yeah, we do have it, it's not missing, and then we'll do that right now.
Okay. All right, Norma, on this case, if you can bring this back, this is your final discovery date. If you'll bring this back on June 3rd. And it is Jesse Arriaga. All right, is there anything else?
No, thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. Thanks for dressing appropriately for court.
Thank you.
All right, Jesus Lopez.
Morning, Judge. That's mine.
Yes, what are we doing with this?
Your Honor, that gentleman is set for tomorrow. I've talked to the prosecutor. I talked to
Mhm.
probation. I have court in Del Rio in the morning. Is there any way we could do it either Wednesday or Thursday? I will talk to my client today, so we'll.
All right, so the question is with regards to state and their witnesses and probation and their witnesses. So if you'll confer with them,
Yeah, no, I didn't.
all right.
Oh, okay. He says we don't need a witness. They don't need a witness. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Judge, that they're open to some suggestions, and so I just need to put them in front of my client.
All right, probation on Jesus Lopez. Are you all okay with recalling this on Thursday?
Thursday?
Yes.
And I will talk to him today, Judge, so we'll be.
All right, all right, so we'll be back on Thursday. And you inform your client?
I will. He's in jail, so like I said, I'll
Okay.
see him.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Yes. And they said they may have an agreement. All right, everyone, we're taking our recess at 12. Do not rush the court at 11:45.
I'm doing it now, Judge.
Thank you.
All right, and is Ray Martinez still here on Christopher Medina?
You?
I have nothing. Okay. All right, and let's see. Can I see the file on Stevie Ray Stokes? I have a feeling that's not set today.
It's set at 1:30, Judge.
Ah, thank you.
Yeah, Kelly had something this morning. And it's just his bias.
All right. Tricia Harrison. Pablo Lara. Thomas Uresti. Who's here on Angel Bustos? All right, what is happening with this case?
Your Honor, we're still,
Angel Bustos, come forward. All right, just one moment. They're gonna bring her up.
Yes.
All right.
Just call me last.
Okay, just give us a moment. Are you Angel Bustos?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, where are we on this case?
Your Honor. I just received an offer from, the state, Your Honor. I'm still, I'm gonna go over the, discovery, and I believe this is our first, court appearance. And I'm asking for a reset.
All right, how old are you?
38.
All right, Miss Ferguson, can you recall this on May 21st for plea deadline date? Is that doable? All right, your plea deadline date is going to be May 21st. On that date, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer. Do you understand? Is that a yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, we'll see you back on May 21st. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Always good seeing you.
Thank you.
And then Ray said he's back for Medina. I do have it. All right, it's going to be Hughes, then it's going to be Medina, then it's going to be Rodriguez. Matthew Dylan Hughes, could I have parties approach, please? He stepped out? All right.
Right here.
Oh, okay. Matthew Hughes, come forward.
Right up front.
Thank you for addressing appropriately for court.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
All right. I mean, I can say you dress better than others who should be dressed appropriately for court.
Trying my best.
Okay. All right. Court is calling 2024 CR 0143, State of Texas versus Matthew Dylan Hughes. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
We have Mr. Hughes to my right.
Are you Mr. Hughes?
Yes, Your Honor.
And to the court reporter, were you able to get the defense counsel's name?
Sorry, Leland McCray on behalf of Mr. Hughes is to my right.
All right, you're whispering, counsel. I'm sorry.
I try to stay focused to
Okay.
close to the mic.
You are,
Oh, I'm sorry, again. Leland McCray on behalf of Mr. Hughes is to my right.
All right, and are you Mr. Hughes?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and court reporter, that's Leland McCray. Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
To the best of my knowledge, yes.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. If you all cannot talk behind the court reporter while we're on the record. Are there any applications in this case?
Sorry if I didn't do that.
All right, if you'll grab an application. Hank? While they're doing that. All right, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are waiving count two, Your Honor, and proceeding on count one.
Any objection?
None.
Going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand in count one, you're charged with possession of with intent to deliver controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's a first degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let's go off the record for a moment. Are you a citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, he's checked that he's not a citizen.
That's my fault. I checked it one box. I'm sorry. Doing two things at once.
All right. So did you understand the range of punishment for that? We're back on the record. Did you understand the range of punishment for that offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Very much so.
Mr. Hughes, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 8 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. State recommends community supervision. This will run concurrent with County Court Cause number 711619. They're taking in consideration 2024 CR 2278, 2024 CR 0145. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes.
Defense?
Yes.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 8 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation and 200 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand that was a recommendation from the state and the court does not have to follow that recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
I plead guilty.
State any evidence.
Your Honor, I offer State's Exhibit 1 in the attachments.
Any objection?
None.
States you may continue to confer. Showing you what's entitled waivering consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. After reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, please, and just ask the court for consideration as community service hours. I was getting from the court at the Toyota plant here in San Antonio. So just the community service might be a little burdensome.
All right. So, do you have any children?
Yes, Your Honor. 2,
What are their ages?
2 and 6.
Do they live with you?
Yes,
And who else lives with you other than your children?
my girlfriend,
All right, and what's her name?
Joanne Rios.
All right, and who is Jose Manuel Escalante to you?
It was a friend.
How long you been working at Toyota?
Going on 4 months, going on 5 months.
What do you do there?
I prep bedliner. I do ground effects. It's bedlining. I prep the trucks for them to get painted.
Okay. All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to 8 years in prison, suspended and probated for 8 years. There's a $1,500 fine that will be probated. This run concurrent with County Court Cause number 711619. Taking consideration 2024 CR 2278, 2024 CR 0145. I'm going to order the defensive driving course. There's to be regular random UAs. There's to be 200 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to require parenting classes. Once he completes parenting classes, the community service restitution will be deemed satisfied. There's to be proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be no contact with Jose Manuel Escalante. There's to be field visits 1 time per month until further notice. And with regards to the UAs, you can either do the patch or you can do the UA. Probation will tell you the difference between the two, but the most difference is that the patch costs more than the regular UAs. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful on this probation?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. In this court, in order to be successful on probation, communication is key. If there's an issue, let your probation officer know. If you feel they're not addressing it, you can always come to court. I know that you work. You're probably working 40 hours a week. You can't blow off reporting. If there's an issue with you reporting, you're missing work, let your probation officer know. If they're not able to work around your schedule and you have some issues, you can still come back to this court and let us know, and we'll see what we can do, okay?
I will, Your Honor.
All right, is there anything else? All right, thank you. On this one, there's a file missing. That one. Thank you. You're welcome. Who's here on Christopher Medina? All right, what are we doing with this case? All right, court is calling 2022 CR 6641, State of Texas versus Christopher Joe Medina. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Second for the state.
Defense? Are you Mr. Medina?
Yes, Your Honor.
Going to show you what's entitled motion to revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Christopher Joe Medina who was placed on community supervision in 2022 CR 6641 for the offense of criminal mischief, $2,500 to $30,000 on November 15, 2022 for a term of 3 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
State.
Your Honor, violation of condition number 2. On or about the 20th day of October, 2023, in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Christopher Joe Medina, did then and there consume alcoholic beverages, namely alcohol, in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
True. All right. Are you sure you want to plead true to that?
I think the confusion, Judge, I thought he was gonna read the diluted and not the alcohol, but it's fine.
All right. Are you pleading true to that?
True. And then, Your Honor, the state will waive and abandon the other violations.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, and sentence you up to 1 year in the state jail facility?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, your client seems as though he does not want to go forward with this.
I think he's just a nervous, Judge. He knows what the agreement is and he's satisfied with the agreement.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, court could find it true, grant the motion, sentence you up to 1 year in the state jail facility?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you have an agreement with the state, court doesn't have to follow that agreement. Do you understand that?
I understand.
All right, the court will find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is a proposed agreement.
And what is that?
It's essentially for revocation and adjudication via a judgment satisfied. And counsel and I spoke, and basically there's other violations that, again, we've already waived and abandoned, namely a couple of which that I think the state's gonna have some difficulty proving up at a future date and time. So just given the nature of what we proceeded on in terms of the violated condition, and given the potential, there may be some discussion on the actual days in, but given the potential great number of days in, we had a proposed agreement for, again, a judgment satisfied, Your Honor.
So what time are you all speaking about?
Well, Judge, we're asking for 30 days. I think the computer is incorrect. It shows 361 days credit, but I don't think that could possibly be correct because I know how much time he's actually spent in jail.
All right, did you all confer with probation over this?
Over how many days he had? No.
No, I mean, over what you all are proposing.
I had let Vashon know that we essentially, again, we're gonna have some difficulties with other things with respect to this defendant in the future. So given just a violation, we would be proceeding on the idea of revocation, adjudication, and a judgment satisfied.
Your Honor, the probation standpoint is for revocation.
All right, so then the question is time. So I want to know what he's actually done on probation. Do we know?
In terms of his time, Judge?
No, I mean, what he's actually done on probation.
He's completed everything, Judge.
All right. Well, we're going to hear.
He completed outpatient treatment, Judge, in December of 2022. Anger management, parenting classes. Those are all of the classes that were mandated. So he's completed all of the classes. Community service hours is at a 0 balance. He has paid off his fees. And his latest UAs have all been negative.
All right, and when was his last UA?
Indicates on the court summary was February 20th of 2024.
All right. You give me a UA today, what's the result going to be?
Negative, Your Honor.
All right, let's do a UA.
Yes, ma'am.
May I step up?
And yes, and then I'll make my decision. Who's here on Pablo Rodriguez? All right, what is happening on this case?
Your Honor, the attorney record is Joanne De Hoyos. I work for Mr. Hoyos. I was conferring. We received a.
All right, everyone, please whisper. Yes.
We received a plea offer today. I reviewed that with my client, with Joanne's client. Pablo expressed interest in speaking with Joanne De Hoyos. We're asking to come back for another setting.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on this case. Let's recall this for April 29th for a plea deadline date. All right, we're back on the 29th. At that time, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the offer. Do you understand? All right, thank you.
Thank you. Tell them to do it, Joe.
Who is here on David Keller? All right, David Keller, come forward. Court is calling 2024 CR 2632, State of Texas versus David Keller. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garrett, Your Honor.
Defense? And are you Mr. Keller?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Keller, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Your Honor, we're proceeding on count one, waiting count two.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand in count one, you're charged with unlawfully carrying a weapon with a felony conviction? That's a second-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client, I'm sorry, sir, just 1 second. Is that? Okay. All right, thank you. All right, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I believe so, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
In my opinion, he is, Your Honor.
Mr. Keller, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain agreement. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 2 years in the prison. There are no applications and the weapon is to be destroyed. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State? Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes,
Did you
Your
sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to count one, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, Your Honor.
State, any evidence? Any
No
objection?
objection, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. The court has reviewed the same. The court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, my client just wishes to just put this case behind him. That's why he came to a resolution today, and he has another case that he's already been sentenced on. And so he would like this case to be running concurrent with it.
And what is
Out of
that
B
cause
County?
number? Do you have the cause number?
No, I do not, Your Honor.
And which county is it out of?
Is B County?
B County.
BEE?
Yeah, yes, Beville.
And one other thing, Your Honor, my client has been in continuous custody since he was arrested in November 18, 2023. However, B County bench warranted him for about 46 days, and then we bench warrant him back. So I would like to, Your Honor, consider that he's been in continuous custody since November 18, 2023.
All right, the court then will sentence you to 2 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. The weapon is to be destroyed. This will run concurrent with your Beeville County case, and credit is to begin from November 18th, 2023.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney?
This one, thank
Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. How old are you?
30, Your Honor.
All right, you're 20 more years. You're going to be in the twilight years. You need to make a decision whether or not you want to spend the rest of your life in prison or not. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And don't go there and become institutionalized. I see the tattoos. I know what they mean. So you better get your life together. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Are
May I
y'all,
be excused?
yes, are y'all ready on eds?
Yes.
All right, we're gonna take up eds. I know we're close to noon, but I think we should do this case. All right,
We're ready on Giannis as well.
all right. And you know what Deputy Laura's like? Let's do it, Judge. Let's do it.
I think for these, I know Ally Jackson had taken the range. Maybe stepped up for 2 minutes, Your Honor. We can take care of it, Judge.
All right, look at this teamwork. Court is calling 2023 CR 2703, 2023 CR 2704, and 2023 CR 2530, State of Texas versus Tyrone Eds. Is it Eds or Eats? Eats. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Gabriel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense?
For the defense.
And are you Mr. Eats?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery in each cause number, and did you review that discovery with your client?
We have, Your Honor.
And each cause number, the court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Are there any applications?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Eads, in each cause number, did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
State, and cause number ending in 2703, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Judge.
And in cause number ending in 2704, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Judge.
And in the cause number ending in 2530, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Judge, just one moment. There was no notes on the file itself.
All right, just 1 minute. I'll be able to tell you.
Thank you, Jim. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Yeah, there are two counts.
Oh, yeah, does it say on there, Judge?
No.
Oh, I was proceeding on those.
Okay, proceeding as presented, Judge.
All right. And each cause number ending in 2703 and 2704, you're charged with aggravated robbery. And in each cause number ending in 2530, and both counts, you're charged with aggravated sexual assault. The range of punishment in each of those cause numbers is anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
In each cause number, you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering these plea bargain agreements, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in each of these cause number?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, in each of the cause numbers, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Eads, in each cause number, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the pleas? Anyone promised you anything other than the pleas?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
In each cause number, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. And each cause number, did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the causes are to run concurrently. State is going to be taking in consideration 2023 CR 2702, 2023 CR 2705, and cause numbers ending in 2703 and 2704. If the court determines there's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon, then the court will enter an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. And that is the same in cause number 2530. And according to the plea bargain agreement, the punishment is to be assessed at 30 years in the prison. Did you understand that to be the plea in each of the cause number?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense? State?
Yes, Judge.
And each cause number, did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions? Then in cause number ending in 2703, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Contest.
And the cause number ending in 2704, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? And in cause number ending in 2530, how do you plead? Not guilty? Guilty or no contest? State any evidence.
Honor state would offer states civil one each of the separate causes.
We've had a chance to review, Your Honor, no objections.
In each of the cause numbers, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, in each cause number, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements, but most importantly, there will be no live witnesses? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments in each cause number, and the court will review the same. All right. In each cause number, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, we would ask the court go along with the plea bargain as it has been tendered by the state. My client is taking full responsibility of the matter. My understanding is he even has written a letter of apology in the sexual assault case. And so we would ask you to give him credit for all the time served and give him the plea bargain amount.
All right. And the cause number ending in 2703, the court will find you guilty. The court will find there's an affirmative finding of a deadly weapon. There's to be no contact with Daniel, Laura, and John Albert Elizondo. This will run concurrent with 2023 CR 2704, 2023 CR 2530. Take in consideration 2023 CR 2702 and 2023 CR 2705. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing in that case? And the cause number ending in 2704, court is finding you guilty. Court is finding an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. There's to be no contact with Daniel, Laura, and John Albert Elizondo. Court will sentence you to 30 years in the prison. And I'm sorry, and the cause number ending in 2703, in case I didn't say it, the court has sentenced you to 30 years in the prison and give you credit for any time served. And back in cause number 2, ending in 2704, court is going to sentence you to 30 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. And this is to be concurrent with 2023 CR 2703. 2530, taking consideration 2023 CR 2705 and 2702. Is there anything with regards to sentencing under that cause number?
No, Your Honor.
And then in cause number ending in 2530, your plea of no contest was to both counts 1 and 2, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then the court will find you guilty in count 1 and count 2. Count 1 and count 2 is to run concurrently. Court will sentence you to 30 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's to be no contact with the complainant. This is to run concurrent with 2023 CR 2704, 2023 CR 2703. There's an affirmative finding of a deadly weapon. Taking consideration 2023 CR 2705, 2023 CR 2702. There's to be Chapter 62 compliance. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing in that cause number?
No, Your Honor.
And each cause number, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because these are plea bargain agreements, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because these are felony convictions, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapon or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. How old are you?
21.
All right, so 30 years, that's a lot of time. But do not go to the prison and become institutionalized. Eventually, you'll be released from prison. And if you don't change your ways, it's not going to go well for you in this world. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, who's here on Christopher Esquivel?
Morning, Judge, we're ready.
All right, thank you for dressing appropriately to court. All right, what are we doing with this case?
Good morning,
Is it
Judge. Just-
sentencing?
No, Judge, just the status conference. I confer with the state. There's a plea offer that was tendered. Talked to my client about it and we're rejecting it.
All right, so y'all want a jury trial.
Yes, Your Honor.
So how long do y'all expect this trial to last?
2 days at most.
All right. Well, let me give you a trial date.
Yes, Your Honor.
What day is your day? We need a jury trial date, family violence, 2 days. All right, June 4th. Is that good for you?
Judge, I'm unavailable the week of June 4th. But
Where are you gonna be?
I have a vacation letter on file, Judge.
All right, we'll let you have a vacation. You know, it's always best to give your attorneys vacation time so they can be at their peak performance.
I agree.
All right. So,
The state opposes that.
all right, so he's gonna be on vacation. July when? July 2nd, with the 4th right around the corner.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is everybody okay with July 2nd?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we'll be back on July 2nd.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, you're welcome.
Judge.
All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, who is here on Jacob Sanchez? Okay, I'll just. All right, what's happening with Jacob Sanchez?
We have a plea.
The plea, Your Honor.
All right. Court is calling, and after that, I'm gonna take up Medina. Court is calling 2023 CR 11121, State of Texas versus Jacob Sanchez. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense,
You can go, Key.
are you Mr. Sanchez?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Believe we have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Sanchez, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented? Mr. Sanchez, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Did you understand you're charged with theft under $2,500? That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights? And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes,
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I believe he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I think so, Judge.
Mr. Sanchez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you have been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it? According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 15 months in the state jail facility, and they're taking in consideration 2024 CR 3414. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes.
Defense, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in both places?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal, The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Judge.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that you have no contact with Circle K at 2950 South Military Drive. Did you understand that was a recommendation from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? Right. Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State, any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
Your Honor, I offered State's Exhibit 1 and the attachments.
No objection, Judge.
Showing you what's entitled waiving consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments. After reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
I would simply ask the court to file the plea bargain agreement that we made with the state.
All right. Mr. Sanchez? You continue to steal. What's going on?
I was in a situation with the substance abuse problem.
All right. So here's the thing. You can't just walk into places and take things. I think you know that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So according to the indictment, you have been convicted 2 times. I'm assuming you've been to the state jail facility 2 times for committing the theft, right?
Yes, ma'am.
At some point in time, you're going to be marked as a habitual, and state jail felonies, when they are habitualized, normally, you know what the range of punishment is? 2 to 20 years in prison. If there is an issue, if you have a drug or alcohol issue, there are plenty of free places that can help you with that. But nobody can help you if you decide, I'm just going to steal because I have these other issues going on in my life. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. The court's going to follow your agreement, sentence you to 15 months in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served, take in consideration 2024 CR 3414. There's to be no contact with the Circle K at 2950 Southwest Military Drive. That's San Antonio, Texas, 78224. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you would like, I can refer you to the therapeutic community. It won't increase the time that you're in custody, but if you're in the program, maybe they can help you with your issues. Would you like that?
Sure.
All right, I'm going to request the therapeutic community. And when you are released, you can go straight to an AA or NA meeting. You understand? All right, good luck to you, okay? Regina Weaver. Weaver?
Judge, I'm up here for this.
All right. All right, Ms. Weaver, come up. All right, what is happening with this case?
So, Judge, I'm up here with Mr. Brodnick today. He's
Okay.
starting a jury trial tomorrow on a civil case and asked me to appear for him.
All right, why were you late?
I went on the elevator like on 2nd and then 3rd floor, and then I finally found the 187 at the end of the.
Okay, so here's the thing. Now you know where it is. Can't be late anymore. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Ms. Ferguson, on this case, let's recall this back. Are you employed?
No, ma'am.
All
I'm
right.
Full house arrest.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm full house arrest.
Okay. Ms. Ferguson, let's recall this for the week of May 6th.
And Judge Hank's going to give me an offer today.
Okay. All right, we're gonna come back on May 7th. And once you sign the reset form, you will be excused. Sure.
For the CPS that we discussed earlier.
All right, thank you.
We're on the money tonight.
Oh, you're rocking it. Okay, where is Raymond Martinez?
He's in the hallway. I can get him right now, Judge.
All right,
Approach, Your Honor.
yes,
This is regarding Thomas Uresta.
yes.
I have not been able to get in touch with him. I don't have a phone number for
All right,
him.
have them pull the file.
I
and we'll take it up.
contacted, he has a PR bond.
All right,
And I contacted them and gave an email. He hasn't responded.
all right. We'll have them pull the file and we'll take it up. All right, the court is back on the record in 2022 CR 6641, Christopher Medina. All right, probation tells me the results are negative. So I will follow your agreement. And is this 30 days in the Bexar County Jail?
Yes, Judge, he did actually spend that pending the NGR before he posted his bond.
All right. Court will sentence him under 1244 to 30 days in the Bexar County Jail. Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes.
All right, and the court will give you credit for any time served, and the court will show that the judgment is satisfied. Going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. You understand? All right, we can go off the record. Good luck to you. And I like the fact that I always tell the attorneys, mix it up a little bit with your clothing attire. So I do like those pants. All right, have a good one. All right, after I finish with Sebastian Yanez, we're taking our recess. And if they'll pull the file on Uresti, we'll take it up. Court is calling 2023 CR 10451, State of Texas versus Sebastian Lee Yanez. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Wilkins for the state.
Defense.
Jason Wolf for defense.
And are you Mr. Yanez?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review that with your client?
We have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Yanez, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor, and for the record, I've represented him less than 10 days, but he is ready to proceed in waiving that timeframe.
Okay. State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
All right, everyone, just have a seat. I'll call up Mr. Uresti. All right, Mr. Yanez, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with evading arrest, detention, and vehicle? That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I am so sorry. I'm doing 3 things at once. Let me go back. Did you understand you have a right to jury trial?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to confront any witnesses against you and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this agreement, you're giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into an agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, I could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Yanis, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to do the plea?
No.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at an $800 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney?
Yes,
Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. In defense, for the record, did you go through and re-sign?
I did, Judge. I went through every bit of the documentation and re-signed.
All right. Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 2 years. There be a TAP evaluation and 120 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State, any evidence?
Your Honor, I offer State's Exhibit 1 in the attachments.
All right, any objections?
My client, Your Honor, no objections.
Mr. Yanis, I'm showing you what's entitled wavering consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Again, did you understand? You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent. Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports and no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge. We would waive PSI.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
I have, Judge. I've only met him briefly, but in my conversations with him, he is, he's regretful for his actions. He's already self-correcting. I have no doubt that he's going to be successful. While that 2-year recommendation from the state is a low one, I think he can be successful in that timeframe. And you won't see him again. We just ask that you follow the agreement.
All right, so why are you speeding in a vehicle? How old are you?
29.
I'm sorry, when?
20?
20.
Yes.
And so you speed in a vehicle, a Dodge Charger. So I guess you loved hearing the engine rev.
Sorry.
And this is just what happened. And then you crash into a tree and you take off running. And the females in the car, was one of them your girlfriend? All right, who were the 2 females to you?
Just acquaintances.
All right, just random people you picked up? How do you know them?
Through a friend.
All right, people just pick up, I'm just living in a different time period where people just picked up friends of a friend. Do you even know them at all?
Personally, no.
All right. And so being a gentleman, that's just out of the question for you.
No.
You crash into a tree and you leave the two females behind. Did you even see if they were all right, or you just said you're on your own, bye?
I don't. Sorry.
I'm sorry, what?
I said, I don't know what's going through my head at that time.
All right, you didn't even say bye to them. You just left. And why did you take off your shoes in the parking lot? Do you think that they wouldn't be able to,
No, I'm not.
or did the crash shake you out of your shoes?
No, I guess I ran out of my shoes.
That's some fast running. Do you know what your time was? All right, maybe Olympics. I don't know.
Faster than the cops, Judge.
Yes, yeah, that's true. So are you employed?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do?
Oh, I help on my dad like doing tent because he has his own business.
All right, and who did that car belong to?
My dad.
And how did your father feel when he found out you have just crashed his vehicle? And I'm sure it's not.
It was upset.
Was it a total loss?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. How far did you go in school?
I graduated high school.
What are you planning on doing with the rest of your life?
Well, trying to take over my dad's business so I could expand it.
Mm-hmm. How did you get here today? Did you drive?
Yes, ma'am.
And what are you driving?
My dad's other vehicle.
And what vehicle is that?
A Tom.
So what are we going to do about his driving? So give me a day-to-day. What's your schedule? You have places you need to be?
No, yeah, just so we'll work with my dad.
All right, so this is going to be your last. Do you live with your father?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so this is going to be your last day driving for a while. I can't even believe your father would give you another vehicle to drive.
I think perhaps the father sees the regret that he has, Judge. The vehicle's important for him to keep track on his life. If perhaps maybe I suggest adding a defensive driving course for this young man. I know that the $800 fine is big. I know while the court is looking to put more on top of him, I would ask if you would consider probating a portion of that.
Oh, I'll probate the $800 fine, but as far as driving, see, this is what happened, I think. Parents too often give people vehicles and give their children vehicles and access to vehicles, and they haven't done anything to deserve it. There are people who are driving to high school in Lexuses and Cadillacs, and like the school bus is too good for them. People need to go back to letting their children be on a school bus and letting people walk to the school. I walk to school every day. Elementary school, junior high, now it's called middle school, high school, in college. I didn't get my first car until I paid for my first car. And I was in my 20s and I paid for it and I was in charge of insurance. Here you are wrecking a car into a tree. And this was August 2023. And you've already got another car that's your father's car. Yeah, he's not going to be driving for a while. It's going to be an $800 fine, probated.
Thank you, Judge.
He can do the defensive driving course. And they tell me you can complete that without a vehicle. There's to be no driving after April 15th until further notice. If you want to start driving again, you had better have completed the defensive driving course, and then your attorneys can file something and I will consider it. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. 120 hours of community service restitution. Do you have any children?
No.
Oh, that's good. Okay. Proof of employment.
You said that out loud, Judge.
Oh, no, yeah, it's good. He's not ready yet.
That's fair enough, Judge.
Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. If you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
30.
See, and everybody's saying he's doing good. And he's going to be dirty. What are you going to be dirty for?
Just marijuana.
You know what? But I appreciate you telling me that, because many people will come before me and say, I'm going to be clean, and they know they're not.
I don't want to do that because I saw what you did to him, so I don't want I don't want that to happen.
All right, we're going to do regular UAs and we'll test for levels and test him every 2 weeks. until the levels go down. Well, until it's a negative. And there's going to be 30 sober meetings in 30 days. Field visits, 1 time per month for 3 months. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No, ma'am.
All right.
Just have a question.
I'm sorry, just 1 second. And it'll be 2 years deferred adjudication.
Thank
you. Yes.
You said 30 days, right?
Yes. You have a question?
Oh, was it okay if I drive from here?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
do I have to-
Today is going to be your last day driving. So don't go out there getting crazy because you're like, oh, it's my last day of driving. Don't do an Ed Norton, the last 24. Everybody should watch that. Or was it the last 48?
Just for clarity, Judge, can he go through a drive-through if he's not the one driving, just to be?
Oh, he can be a passenger. But I wouldn't suggest being a passenger with people you randomly know.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. You're gonna have to start making better decisions. Sometimes when people crash into trees, they die.
Yeah.
And now that tree is destroyed. All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right,
25th hour, Judge.
25th hour. I knew it was either 48 or something like that. All right. Oh, and also, if you have any questions, sir, if you have any questions, communication is key to be on probation. If you feel as though probation is not addressing those issues, you can always come back to court, okay? All right, this is our last case for today until we come back in the afternoon. Thomas Uresti. Come forward, counsel. You're on Thomas Uresti. Court is calling 2024 CR 2421. State of Texas versus Thomas Uresti Jr. Could I have parties announce for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense.
Keith Engel, Keith.
This hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It's now 12:31 p.m. The defendant has not appeared. Defense, where's your client?
My client has a PR bond. Tried to speak with them, find out if they've been in touch with him. I haven't been in touch with his counselor. I got his name and left a message. He didn't leave a phone with the PR bond people. I did leave an email address. I asked Ms. Ferguson to contact the email address. She tells me she hasn't heard her reply.
All right. In just one moment. Deputy Laura, did you make an announcement?
He's not out there, Your Honor.
All right, state.
Your Honor, we asked for a bond forfeiture.
All right, the court will issue a judge's warrant, remand your client without bond. If your client makes an appearance, the court will reconsider. All right, thank you. All right, everyone, we're going to be back at 2:30.